Hello, Shalom. Welcome to part 169 of Daily Bread. We're reading Deuteronomy chapter 28, Isaiah 29, Psalm 17, Proverbs 18, and 2 Corinthians chapter 5. We'll be in the Scriptures 2009 version. Deuteronomy chapter 28 on page 215. And it shall be, if you diligently obey the voice of Yahweh, your Elohim, to guard to do all his commands, which I command you today, that Yahweh your Elohim shall set you high above all the nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you, if you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. Blessed are you in the city, and blessed are you in the field. Blessed is the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your livestock, the increase of your cattle, and the offspring of your flocks. Blessed is your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed are you when you come in, and blessed are you when you go out. Yahweh causes your enemies who rise against you to be smitten before your face, and they come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. Yahweh commands the blessing on you and your storehouses, and in all to which you set your hand, and shall bless you in the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. Yahweh does establish you as a set-apart people to himself, as he has sworn to you, if you guard the commands of Yahweh your Elohim and walk in his ways. And all the peoples of the earth shall see that the name of Yahweh is called upon you, and they shall be afraid of you. And Yahweh shall make you have plenty of what is good, in the fruit of your body, in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of your ground, in the land of which Yahweh swore to your fathers to give to you. Yahweh opens to you his good treasure, the heavens, to give the rain to your land in its seasons, and to bless all the work of your hand. And you shall lend to many nations, but you do not borrow. And Yahweh shall make you the head and not the tail, and you shall be only on top, and not be beneath. If you obey the commands of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you today, to guard and do not turn aside from any of the words which I am commanding you today, right or left, to go after other mighty ones, to serve them. And it shall be, if you do not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to guard to do all his commands and his laws which I command you today, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Cursed you are in the city, cursed you are in the field, cursed in your basket and your kneading bowl. Cursed is the fruit of your body and the fruit of your land, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flocks. Cursed are you when you come in, and cursed are you when you go out. Yahweh sends on you the curse, the confusion, and the rebuke in all that you set your hand to do, until you are destroyed, and until you perish quickly because of the evil of your doing, by which you have forsaken me. Yahweh makes the plagues cling to you until he has consumed you from the land which you are going to possess. Yahweh strikes you with wasting disease and inflammation, and with burning, and with extreme heat, and with the sword, and with blight, and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. And your heavens which are over your heads shall be bronze, and the earth which is under you iron. Yahweh makes the rain of your land powder and dust from the heavens. It comes down on you. For the heavens it comes down on you until you are destroyed. Yahweh causes you to be defeated before your enemies. You go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. And you shall become a horror to all the reigns of the earth. And the carcasses shall be food for all the birds of the heavens and the beasts of the earth, with no one to frighten them away. Yahweh shall strike you with the boils of Mizraim, with tumors, with the scab, and with the itch, from which you are unable to be healed. Yahweh shall strike you with madness and blindness and bewilderment of heart, and you shall be groping at noon, as a blind man gropes in darkness, and not prosper in your ways. And you shall be only oppressed and plundered all the days, with no one to save you. You become enraged to a wife. You have 30. You become engaged to a wife, but another man does lie with her. You build a house, but you do not dwell in it. You plant a vineyard, but you do not use its fruit. Your ox is slaughtered before your eyes, but you do not eat of it. Your donkey is violently taken from before you, and is not given back to you. Your sheep are given to your enemies, with no one to save them. Your sons and your daughters are given to another people, and your eyes look and fail for them all day long, and your hand powerless. A people whom you have not known eat the fruit of your land and all your labors, and you shall be only oppressed and crushed all the days. And you shall be maddened because of the sight which your eyes see. Yahweh strikes you in the knees and on the legs with evil boils, of which you are unable to be healed. And from the sole of your foot to the top of your head, Yahweh brings you and the sovereign whom you set over you to a nation which neither you nor your fathers have known. And there you shall serve other mighty ones, wooden and stone. Thus you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a mockery among all the peoples to which Yahweh drives you. 38. You make much needed seed. You take much seed out into the field, but gather little in, for the locust consumes it. You plant vineyards and shall labor, but neither drink of the wine nor gather, for the worms eat it. You have olive trees in your border, but do not anoint with oil, for your olives drop off. You bring forth sons and daughters, but they are not with you, for they go into captivity. Locusts possess all your trees and the fruit of your ground. The sojourner who is among you rises higher and higher above you, but you become down lower and lower. He lends to you, but you do not lend to him. He is the head and you are the tail. And all these curses shall come upon you, and they shall pursue and overtake you until you are destroyed, because you did not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim to guard his commands and his laws as which he commanded you. 46. And they shall say, be upon you for a sign and for a wonder and for your seed forever, because you did not serve Yahweh your Elohim with joy and gladness of heart for all the plenty. You shall serve your enemies whom Yahweh sends against you, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in need of all. And he shall put a yoke of iron on your neck until he has destroyed you. Yahweh shall bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose language you shall not understand. A fierce-looking nation, which shall show no regard for the elderly, nor show favor to the young. And they shall eat the fruit of your livestock and the fruit of your land until you are destroyed. They leave you no grain, nor new wine, nor oil, for the increase of your cattle, nor the increase of your cattle, or the offspring of your flocks, until they have destroyed you. And they shall besiege you at all your gates, until your high and fenced walls, in which you are trusting, come down in all your land. And they shall besiege you at all your gates in all your land, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you. And you shall eat the fruit of your own body, the flesh of your sons and your daughters, whom Yahweh your Elohim has given you, in the siege and distress in which your enemies distress you. The man among you who is tender and who is very delicate, his eye is evil against his brother, against the wife of his bosom, and against the rest of his children, whom he leaves behind. Against giving any of them the flesh of his children that he eats, because it is all that has been left to him in the siege and distress with which your enemies distresses you in your gates. The tender and the delicate woman among you, who has not tried to set the sole of her foot on the ground because of her delicateness and tenderness. Her eye is evil against the husband of her bosom, and against her son, and against her daughter, and against her seed which comes out from between her feet, and her children whom she bears, for she eats them in concealment for lack of all, in the siege and distress with which your enemy distresses you in all your gates. If you do not guard to do all the words of this Torah that are written in this book, to fear this esteem and awesome name, Yahweh your Elohim, then Yahweh shall bring upon you and your descendants extraordinary plagues, great and lasting plagues, and grievous and lasting sickness. And he shall bring back on you all the diseases of Misra, of which you were afraid, and they shall cling to you. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this Torah does bring upon you until you are destroyed. And you shall be left with few men, although you had become as numerous as the stars of the heavens, because you did not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. He always leaves a remnant. And it shall be that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do good, and increase you, so Yahweh does rejoice over you to destroy you and to lay waste. And you shall be plucked from off the land which you go to possess. And Yahweh shall scatter you among all the peoples, from one end of the earth to the other. And there you shall serve other mighty ones, which neither you nor your fathers have known, wood and stone. And among those nations you are to find no rest, nor have a resting place for the sole of your foot. But there Yahweh shall give you a trembling heart, and failing eyes, and sorrow of being, and your life shall be hanging in suspense before you, and you shall fear night and day, and not be certain of your life. In the morning you say, "Oh, that it were evening," and in the evening you would say, "Oh, what it were morning," because of the fear of your heart with which you fear, and because of the sight of your eye, which your eyes see. And Yahweh shall bring you back to Mizraim in ships, by a way of which I said to you, you are never to see it again. And there you shall be sold to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one to buy. That was Deuteronomy chapter 28. On to Isaiah chapter 29 on page 435. Woe to Ariel, the city where David dwelt. Add year to year that let festivals come around. And I shall distress Ariel, and there shall be mourning and sorrow, and it shall be to me as Ariel. And I shall encamp against you all around. I shall lay siege against you with mound, and I shall raise siege works against you. And you shall be brought low, and speak out of the ground, and your speech shall be low out of the dust, and your voice shall be like a medium's out of the ground, and your speech whisper out of the dust. But the crowd of those strange to you shall be like fine dust, and the crowd of the ruthless ones as chaff blowing away, and it shall be in an instant suddenly. You shall be visited by Yahweh of hosts with thunder and earthquake, and great noise with whirlwind and storm and flame of devouring fire. Then the crowd of all the nations whom fight against Ariel, even all who fight against her and her stronghold and distress her, shall be as a dream of a night vision. And it shall be as when a hungry man dreams and sees he eats, but he awakes and his being is empty. Or as when a thirsty man dreams and he sees he drinks, but he wakes and see he is faint and his being is longing. Thus shall the crowd of all the nations be who fight against Mount Zion. Pause and wonder, blind yourselves and be blind. They are drunk, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For Yahweh has poured out on you the spirit of deep sleep, and has closed your eyes, the prophets, and he has covered your heads, the seers. And the entire vision is to you like the nation, and the entire vision is to you like the words of a book that is sealed, which men give to one who knows books, saying, read this, please. And he said, I am unable, for it is sealed. And the book is given to one who does not know books, saying, read this, please. And he says, I have not known books. And Yahweh says, because this people has drawn near with its mouth and with its lips, they have esteemed me, and it has kept its heart far from me, and their fear of me has become a command of men that is taught. Therefore, see, I am again doing a marvelous work among this people, a marvelous work and wonder, and the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their clever men shall be concealed. Woe to those who seek deep counsel. Woe to those who seek deep to conceal their counsel far from Yahweh, and the works are in the dark. They say, who sees us, and who knows us? How perverse of you! Should the potter be reckoned as the clay? Should what is made should what is made say to its maker, he did not make me? And what is formed say of him who formed it, he did not understand. It is not yet a little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a garden land, and garden land shall be reckoned as a forest. And in that day the deaf shall hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out the gloom and out of darkness. And the meek ones shall increase their joy in Yahweh, and the poor among men rejoice in the set apart one of Israel. For the ruthless one is brought to naught, the scorner is consumed, and all who watch for evil shall be cut off. Those who make a man to sin in word, and lay a snare for him who reproves in the gate, and turn aside the righteous with empty reasoning. Therefore, 22, therefore, thus said Yahweh, who ransomed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob. Jacob is no longer put to shame, no longer does his face grow pale. For when he sees his children, the work of my hands is in his midst. And they shall set apart my name, and shall set apart the set apart one of Jacob, and fear the Elohim of Israel. And those who went astray in spirit shall come to understanding, and the grumblers accept instructions. Psalm 17 on page 654. Hear righteousness, Yahweh. Listen to my cry. Give ear to my prayer. From lips without deceit, let my right ruling go out from your presence. Let your eyes see what is straight. You have examined my heart. You have visited me in the night. You have tried me. You find I have not schemed. My mouth would not transgress. As for the deeds of men, by the words of your lips, I have kept myself from the paths of the destroyer. My steps have held fast to your paths. My feet have not slipped. I have called upon you, for you answer me, O El. Incline your ear to me. Hear my speech. Let your loving commitment be distinguished. You who save by your right hand those who take refuge. For those who rise up, guard me as the apple of your eye. Conceal me under the shadow of your wings. From the face of the wrong who ravage me, from the deadly enemies who surround me. They are enclosed in their own fat. They speak proudly with their mouths. They have now surrounded us in all our steps. They set their eyes to cast us to the ground, like a lion who is eager to tear his prey. And as a young lion crouching in cover, arise, O Yahweh, confront him, cause him to bend, deliver my being from the wrong by your sword, for men by your hand, O Yahweh, for men of the world whose portion is in this life, and you fill their bellies with your hidden treasure. They are satisfied with children, and they shall leave their riches to their babes. As for me, let me see your face in righteousness. I am satisfied to see your appearance when I awake. Proverbs 18 on page 745. The separatist seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound wisdom. A fool does not delight in understanding. but in uncovering his own heart. When a wrong one comes, scorn comes too, and with shame comes reproach. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The fountains of wisdom is a flowing stream. It is not good to show partiality to the wrong, or to turn aside the righteous in right ruling. A fool's lips enters into strife, and his mouth is for blows, and his mouth calls for blows. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are the snare of his life. The words of a slanderer are like delicacies, and they go down into the inner parts of the heart. Also, he who is slack in his work is a brother of a master destroyer. The name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his own imagination. Before the destruction, the heart of a man is haughty, and before esteem is humility. He who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. The spirit of man sustains him in sickness, but who does bear a broken spirit? The heart of the understanding one gets knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gift makes room for him, and brings him before great men. The first to state his own case seems right, until another comes and examines him. The lot settles disputes, and separates between the mighty one. A brother transgressed against is a strong city, and contentions are like the bars of a citadel. A man's stomach is satisfied from the fruit of his mouth. He is satisfied with the increase of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those loving it eats its fruit. He who has found a wife has found good, and receives favor from Yahweh. The poor speaks beseechingly, but the rich answer fiercely. A man of many friends might come to ruin, but there is a loving one who sticks closer than a brother. Than a brother. Second Corinthians, chapter 5. I almost inadvertently read chapter 5 of Acts. Chapter 5, 2 Corinthians, on page 1123. For we know that if the tent of our earthly house is destroyed, we have a building from Elohim, a house not made with hands, everlasting in the heavens. For indeed in this we groan, longing to put on our dwelling, which is from heaven, so that having put it on, we shall not be found naked. For indeed, we who are in this tent groan, being burdened, not because we wish to put it off, but to put on the other, so that what is to die might be swallowed up by life. Now he who has prepared for us for this same purpose is Elohim, who has given us the Spirit as a pledge of what is to come. Therefore, being always of good courage and knowing that while we were at home in the body, we are absent from the Master. For we walk by belief, not by sight. We are of good courage, and are well pleased rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Maker. So we also make it our aim to be well pleasing to Him, whether being at home or being away from home. For we all have to appear before the judgment seat of Messiah, in order for each one to receive according to what he has done in the body, whether good or evil. Knowing therefore the fear of Yahweh, we persuade men, but we have been made manifest to Elohim. And I also trust in your consciences to have been manifested. For we do not command ourselves concerning you, but give you to occasion to boast on our behalf, in order that you have an answer for those who take pride in appearance and not in heart. So whether we are beside ourselves, it was for Elohim, or whether we are of sound mind, it is for you. For the love of Messiah compels us, having judged this, that if one, capital O, died for all, then all died. And he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised. So from now onwards, we know no one according to the flesh. And if we have known Messiah according to the flesh, yet now we no longer know him thus. Therefore, if anyone is in Messiah, he is a renewed creature. The old matters have passed away. See, all matters have become renewed. And all the matters are from Elohim, who has restored us to favor with himself through Yeshua Messiah, and has given us the service of restoration to favor. That is, that Elohim was in Messiah, restoring the world to favor unto himself, not reckoning their trespasses to them, and has committed to us the word of restoration to favor. 20. Therefore we are envoys on behalf of Messiah, as though Elohim were pleading through us. We beg on behalf of Messiah, be restored to favor with Elohim. For he made him who knew no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteous of Elohim. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the Father.